Under 21 Indo Sri Lanka Water Polo Series. We are about to commence the second edition or the second match of the men's Under 21 Indo Sri Lanka Water Polo Series. The first one having been played yesterday, the second encounter today. And playing for the boys Sri Lankan team, we have V.S. Somakirti, the goalkeeper, S.L. Chantul Karunasena, Mihin Akbo Vanigasekara, Suleiman Shihar, D.R. Hiniduma Lianage, who's the captain of the team, Dinal Wellapili, Sheran Ibrahim Nawaz, Ahmad Talal Bari, R. Nimsant Alutke, Atisha Senthil Kumaran, H. Dilnath Yasandu de Silva, A. Linal Handuna Patirana, Dhruv Enan Pereira, who's the second goalkeeper for the Sri Lanka team, Mohammad Umair Faris, and as reserve, M.S. Fadil Shihab. And the Indian boys team's team card, Mehetab Hossain Sardar, the goalkeeper, D. Sunita Suhas Kute, N.S. Ambadi, Prem Patil, Mohammad Sufyan, Mohammad Swoli, Swayam Pardeshi, Sartak Maruti Indre, Mohit Ashish Bate, Kailas R. Nair, Krishna Tejas, Rohit Kute, Gokul S.J., who's the goalkeeper and the captain of the team, and S.K. Aryan Rahman. The teams entering the water for their bit of the warm-up. The first match having been won by India 11 goals to 6, and the main goal scorers for India, Swayam, Ambad, Kurte, Sufyan and his brother R. Kurte, and for Sri Lanka, Yasandu de Silva, Dimitri Lianage, Dinal Vellapili and Atisha Sentikumaran. The referees Sachit Jathilaka, and for India, the Sri Lanka team in the white caps and the Indians in the blue caps. The Indian referee being Sanket Shinde and the Sri Lankan referee Sachit Jathilaka.
Yes, very good evening to everyone joining us in Colombo and all around the world for this all-important second game of the boys' encounter. Sri Lanka propping to Yasandu de Silva, early turn, shoots! Wonderfully done by Yasandu de Silva, brings the stadium alight and puts Sri Lanka on the goal count early. Nicely done there. Coach's textbook play from the wing, feeding the prop early. Turn and shoot. So great pictures there coming to you from the Papare team, giving you a front-on view of the goal. And India now looking to score, and they do just that. Wonderfully done there. Fast-paced game at the Sugadadasa, 1-for-1.
The goal being scored none other than Suhas Kute, who was also having 2 goals at the first match.
Yes, you keep seeing that, Akri. India always feed the ball right in front of the player, and then they know the instinctively they know they're going to get the ball in good areas, and something that Sri Lanka can take out of their playbook. But now again into the double prop position. Good attempt, but India will not be found wanting on their defense. They've got some good players who read the game well, who shift on defense very, very quickly.
A very quick start in this game. The team's turning over well within the 30-second shot clock times. And yet another goal to India. Ambadi doing the honors this time.
So interestingly, that right wing didn't take the shot. The Sri Lankan defender dropping back, the wing defender dropping back to mark his prop, but leaving the wing open and didn't take the shot. Instead opted to work the ball right around and feed their prop. So Sri Lanka now again through the wings, through the props. Good work.
Turnover to India.
Offensive foul called by the referee, and India now with a chance on their attacking half, looking dangerous here. If he comes in, they've got good shooters, and if they keep doing it like that, it's going to be a completely different second game here this evening at the Sugadadasa. Nicely done by cap number 12, Rohit Kute. And apologies if we mispronounce some of these names for those of you watching in India. But nicely done. Strong shooting arm there from the bar, from the strong bar of India.
Quite a fast game, rapid changes. The Sri Lankans also coming back into their halves quite quickly. Sri Lankan ball.
Doing the right thing, feeding the prop, looking to earn those exclusions. But again, the D very static, Kakri. We spoke about this so many times in the girls' game we had in the afternoon and yesterday's boys' match as well. Very few of them seem to be liking the swimming route. Wonderfully done. Referees allowing the game to be played on. And nice bit of refereeing there to make sure that it was just balanced, and then they get the control of the game right there. Consistency was something that all referees and all players asked for in the game. Sri Lanka now looking to feed Yasantha De Silva, struggling, asking for the ball. India knowing that double teaming him, which means the awkward bar is free. Long pass to the awkward wing to run the shot clock down, and that attack comes to no avail.
Into the Indian attack. The ball being taken into the Sri Lankan half by Dinesh Kute. The team's putting up a formidable defense and a good save by the Sri Lankan goalkeeper.
Somakirti has been doing a stellar job in goal since yesterday, but how much of battering he can take on goal with one-on-one that question will seem to be answered soon. So Sri Lanka need to take these strong Indian shooters on a tight press if they need to thwart the attack.
Once again, a save by the Indian goalie.
Just going back to those two plays, not the same sting that you would have the goalkeeper react to from the Sri Lankan shot, but India looking dangerous, playing through their top three, looking to distribute ball within the top three shooters and take the pass and shoot option, something that didn't work for them very well yesterday, but they seem to have fixed that one.
Just a miss.
That was Isura Kahandavala-esque there, coming out of the water. We didn't see that much yesterday. You can see the trunks on these Indian players. Shows a lot of good strength and conditioning and leg work that has been done in the conditioning camps. Nicely done.
The
Nicely
prop
done
being
by
charged and save over to the Indian side.
Referee playing advantage as you had two defenders on Yasantha De Silva. So Sri Lanka need to call the double bluff. They know Yasantha is being double teamed, and then either go into double prop or just as India do there, get in front of that 2 to 3 meter line and ask for the ball and try and earn the exclusion or the penalty. Mihin Manigasekara will have all the experience behind him, having trained for so many years at this pool, and will count himself a little unlucky, but also would want to discipline himself here and not give away those penalties. India lining up for the penalty. Somakirti, can he make a
Penalty shot being
one?
taken by Sunit
Wonderfully
Pude.
done. Excellent work by the Sri Lankan goalkeeper there, choosing the right angle and diving to it, and wonderful pictures there from the back of goal, just to show you how quickly you need to react. So saving one as good as earning one on the scorecard, and Somakirti will feel a lot better this evening after that one.
Sri Lankans in possession of the ball, trying to figure out what is the best strategy. It was a good attempt there, but nevertheless missed.
Unlucky. Alutge feeding Mihin Manigasekara on that wing, just the shot that they were looking for. But good signs in the first quarter from both teams. Top quality water polo being played at this under-21 India.
Very
Sri
well
Lanka
paced,
encounter.
quick. The Indians turning it back into the Sri Lankan half. Hands up, saved by the team.
Yes, Sri Lanka will be happy for India to shoot from outside, Akri, as long as they keep pushing those barmen out of the 6 meter zone. It's a little more difficult, and India will look to resort to swimming the ball in, as Sri Lanka have done now, looking for the ball on 2 and 3 meters. As Manigasekara feeds Velapilli, I think. Yes, back to the center. Kumaran looking, loading up. Oh, wonderful fake. Nicely done. Had the defense guessing. They all thought he was going for the shot. But good maturity shown from Sri Lanka early here in this quarter. Completely different first quarter from yesterday. Showing how much the team has adapted to it. And India losing the ball in that flurry of attacks. Sri Lanka, extra man. Goal for the taking. Here we go. Sri Lanka on the charge. Puts one back on the net. Talal Bari earns his colours quite handsomely in this second leg. Beg your pardon, in the second game. Nicely done. Nice, wonderful pictures coming to you from the Papare team here from the top of goal.
A great break there from the Sri Lankan team. Saved in time, passed on quickly, and the fullback taking it on, converting it into a goal.
Indian shooters looking to regroup. Good ball presentation. Good passing in the top 3. Dry ball is something the coaches will always look for, and both teams need to just slightly improve on that one. Dry ball. Spoke about dry ball. Wonderfully done there. Sri Lanka should have seen that play coming. You know, every time the ball is fed to the wing, it's going to go to the prop. And with India playing with their trunks to be seen, look slightly just a little more dominant here in the play. Dimitri Lienage will know to take up center position. Puts Lithum Karnasena on the bar, Suleiman Shah on the wing, Jacinto De Silva in prop, Mihin Manigasekara on the other bar, and I think Shehran Nawaz on that strong wing. So Sri Lanka well equipped with talented players all around the arc, just need to distribute the ball, take the shot on percentage. Dimitri Lienage coming in, feeding Shiha. Shiha will look for the double prop. Airborne pass into the prop is what he will look for. 8 seconds remaining on the clock. Sri Lanka know to take the shot now. Shot being awarded on the 6 meter shot coming up. Velapilli not finding the corner.
Back to the Indian attack. Number 10 taking the ball in, Kailas Nair.
What a shot. What a shot. We spoke about the strong shooters from India. Sri Lanka just seemed to have switched off ever so slightly, and
the number 7 Swam Pardeshi.
She was dangerous yesterday as well, so you cannot afford to switch off. The ladies' match in the afternoon learned that the hard way. They just had a bad second quarter, and suddenly the game got away from them. So being switched on all through 4 quarters is what all these players will need to do if they are to take down the powerhouse of Indian water polo, who look very strong and very well conditioned Akre this evening.
Definitely, the boys sometimes don't look 21. Quite fit and quite tall. Quite a lot of power to get themselves out of the water, to make sure that they reach for those shots and make sure it has that much more power in the ball as they shoot it through. So the end of the first quarter, the Indians leading 5 goals to 2.
Elevate your game with the Papare, Sri Lanka's ultimate sports destination. Tune in to the Papare, your home for all things sports.
So we're just about to commence the second quarter. This looks like it's Sri Lanka who win that swim ball. Courtesy Sheran Nawaz. It's important that Sri Lanka do draw first blood in this second quarter. Tries the shot almost, but the Indian goalkeeper Hussein Sadar just managing to keep that away from creeping into the goal. And now India on the move. Some good defensive work by Sri Lanka, double teaming the Indian player and managing to retrieve possession. So good defensive call.
The ball being taken into possession by Suleiman Shah, and right now an extra man opportunity. Sri Lankans edging in, trying to see which is their best way. Once again, a slight miss by number 3 Mihin Vanigasekara.
Perfect technique by the Indian goalkeeper, and immediately communicating to his wing defender there that Vanigasekara is the danger man. So good to see that kind of message coming through on the defense.
Corner throw. So back to a full composition, and Sri Lankans trying that shot. No goal, says the referee. Turn back to the Indian charge. Number 10, Kailas taking it in.
Some good defensive work by Sri Lanka, managing to thwart that Indian attack. And now Sri Lanka on the other end. It's Mihin Vanigasekara in possession, looking for support. It's just that Sri Lanka need to be probably a bit more quicker when they find those openings. Do not let that Indian defense settle. And that's a wonderful read by Swain Pradashe. Read that brilliantly well to intercept, and as a result, possession has been turned over, and India on the attack. The ball wide. Looks like the referee has found an infringement, and possession has been turned over. So Sri Lanka on the move.
Closing in on the 2-meter line. Struggling there a little bit. Passing to Dimitri Lianage. Trying that long shot. A bit of a long throw, bouncing it off, but nevertheless not enough steam to get the ball in.
Yes, well, the deflection very nearly did the goalkeeper, but the crossbar helped him, you would have to say. And now India on the attack once again. And that's a good save by Somakirti. Terrific shot by Kales Nair. But Somakirti up to the task, just deflecting it above the crossbar.
Both teams with a good, energetic, and it's a goal deflected
Yes, that
by
was
number 12. There we go with the replay.
Yes, well, that was desperately unfortunate for Sri Lanka. Nonetheless, India further extend their lead, 6-2. Once again, Sri Lanka on the move. The Indian defense seems to be well organized.
And it's Mihin who's having possession of the ball, but well marked by the Indians, who have read that he is the one to be looking out for.
Yes, well, it just seems that Sri Lanka seem to be running out of options in attack. It's all the more important, and when they get a fast break opportunity, they make it count. Now it's India on the move. A wonderful save once again.
Wonderful save by Somakirti. The referee calling a corner throw.
Goalkeeper giving this crowd something to cheer about. That Sri Lankan goal is being peppered by these top 3 Indian shooters and at will. So Sri Lanka will have to switch from a zone defense to a press probably. They can't keep affording easy ball onto these strong Indian shooters. Somakirti, accurate pass to his winger. Winger needs another supporting player to distribute. Vanika Sekara coming up on the other wing now.
At the flag. Number 4, Suleiman, struggling a little bit there, but back to Mihin, who tries it, and the prop being marked and by 2 of the Indian players, and possession turning back towards India.
So if you keep watching it, India seem to get the ball into their 2 meter very, very quickly, as we just see there, and then have all the opportunity to make the play. Whereas by the time, that's a goal for India again, but by the time Sri Lanka seem to find the goal in the business end of that pool, they're down to about 4 to 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock, which puts a lot of pressure on the shooters. And as soon as you see that kind of gameplay, India are counter-attacking it quite beautifully through their wingers. So Sri Lanka can afford to drop their 2 wingers back ever so slightly if they want to stop the counter as well. Coach Keshan Munasinghe, the master of counter-attacks, will know all about that one.
Quite a few changes in the Indian team, the Sri Lankan team.
Nicely done by Yasandra De Silva, taking on this Indian team now in that prop position. Not easy to do, as we have the Sri Lankan fans cheering on this team. And I believe Umair Faris is also in the pool, the boy from DS Senanayaka. So congratulations to him on this momentous occasion.
India once again on the move. Sri Lanka defense standing tall. And another good
wonderful save.
Somakirti. He has been good when under pressure on most occasions. Again, reading that shot extremely well. So it's a corner for India. Still evaluating their options.
Ball turned over to the Sri Lankans. Mihin trying to figure out whether to pass or swim with it. He chooses to swim with it, taking that a little bit of time to strategize how best to start this charge.
So down to 10 seconds, and that is when the ball really gets to that 2 meter zone. So this is what we were talking about before. And now the shooters under pressure. And under pressure to shoot.
A good attempt there by Sheran Nawaz. So the Sri Lankans, good at the charge, but lacking that little bit of time required to make sure that the job is done.
Indian winger will look for his prop, will not shoot from that acute angle. Good distribution. Wonderful shot there from the bar. This is top quality shooting from India.
And Somakirti there doing a very good job holding back the Indian charge. Quite energetic. Ball goes back to Sheran.
Again, Sri Lanka, 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock on the top of your screen on the left. And that is when they really then look to distribute. So, little things that someone from the bench needs to look at as the referee taking control of the game and making sure that the exclusions are given clearly.
And the exclusion of Yasandu De Silva.
Sri Lanka playing 6 on 5 to India. So 2 exclusions for India, I think. This is Sri Lanka's chance to equalize.
Nevertheless, the shot clock didn't hold time for them. The Indians taking possession of the ball.
It's good strong shot from Sri Lanka there. Just unlucky to find the bar. Need to regroup now. Need to make sure those Indian shooters do not come in anywhere close to the 6 meter as they do just that lining up.
And Somakirti doing a brilliant job there. Holding it all.
So I wonder whether he'll ask for the helmet in the third quarter because he's been getting a lot of ball coming his way. And living.
Probably frustrating the Indians who are still holding it at 7-3.
Once again, Sri Lanka being forced to shoot from the deep. And the Indian defense well organized. Now on the attack is Rohit Kute. Just passing the ball, just looking for that opening. So far Sri Lanka defense standing strong. Again Somakirti. Another wonderful save. He's been under tremendous pressure and has stood up on most occasions. Not for his efforts, the scoreline could look much worse than what it should be. Now Sri Lanka on the move.
Sheran in possession of the ball. Good free open water, and yes, it's a goal. Dinal Velapilli finding that gap, using the opportunity of time to get it in.
There's a wonderful shot by Velapilli. This has been a much better quarter for you'd have to say for Sri Lanka. Really put in a shift in this quarter and have hung in there. Managed to cut the deficit to just 3 goals, just around 30 seconds remaining.
And the real difference there, Abdullah, was because Sri Lanka was shooting from close range. So little things that they need to pick up here in the third quarter.
"12 seconds on the clock. Can they convert it to another goal?" Display. 3 seconds left. Ball under, and that's the end of the quarter. At halftime, the Indians are leading 7 goals to 4.
Yes, a much better quarter, you'd have to say, for Sri Lanka. They did really well after being 5 goals to 2 at the end of the first quarter. It's probably two goals apiece in that. So overall, I think Sri Lanka have done well in that second quarter. So it's something for Sri Lanka to take a bit of confidence into that second half. As we have a look at the highlights of this second quarter, it was Sri Lanka who drew first blood through Yasandu De Silva. India, of course, struck back, courtesy Sunil Kuti. And then winning a penalty and a wonderful save by Somakirti, who really put in a big shift in that quarter. So Sri Lanka down 4 goals to 7, but will be buoyed by...
Elevate your game with the Papare. Sri Lanka's ultimate sports destination. Tune in to the Papare, your home for all things sports.
As I think we have Shehran Nawaz for Sri Lanka looking to repeat his feet and take that ball for the Lankan team. And he does just that. Wonderfully done by Nawaz. Sri Lanka now on attack, having swapped sides. Andan Patirana, beg your pardon, Faris. Nice distribution. Going into double prop. Nice to see from Sri Lanka that diagonal swim. Wonderfully done. And as we say, that exclusion earned. Wonderfully done by Sri Lanka. Villapilli needs to get into the game now. Awkward bar with 15 seconds remaining. This is exactly the situation we spoke about. Go in and take the shot on a pass. Left-hander needs to distribute quickly. That Indian defense is up to the mark. Shot coming, loading up. Sri Lanka looking for the shot. Fancy razzle-dazzle. Too early in the game, if you like. Atisha Sentikumarna will have other options and other ideas if he's given the ball, and he will ask for the ball as well from the other wing. Nicely done. Sri Lanka with a chance to score again. Is ball under the call? Or goalie ball it was. Beg your pardon, Ramirao trying to make the most of that. India with an extra man situation.
Brilliantly worked, you'd have to say. Drawing the defenders and finding the open man. And it was Rohit Kuthe who put the finishing touches to a well-formed counter-attack. Sri Lanka found wanting in numbers, and India making use of the extra man they had. So India drawing first blood in this third quarter. Just what Sri Lanka needed to avoid. So it's a 4-goal game thus far. Sri Lanka on the attack.
Quite active, trying every single opportunity. And it's a rebound, and the possession turns back to the Indians. And Rohit trying hard to make use of that empty, open opportunity, but well saved by Somakirti. The Sri Lankans once again trying that long shot. Yet another miss. And on the little bit of a struggle, number we didn't quite get the number.
New rules allowing the game to be played on, and goalkeeper just seemed to ask the question, but you've got to take the ball and swim out of that area if you want to have any respite from the attackers. And Sri Lanka getting one back now. India. Offensive foul being called. Sri Lanka with a lot of position, and you were speaking about this, Abdullah. When you get the opportunity, you've got to make it count, and that's the sign of quality teams. Sri Lanka seem to be learning on the road and learning fast. And what have they got in store for us in this play? Umer Faris on that right wing with the left-hander. Yasandu De Silva with the opportunity. Early call from the referee. Clear call, making sure that the ball is turned over. And as the Indian captain surveys his options, looking for his fast men, not to be found this time. India playing through the prop. Wonderful drop defense by Sri Lanka there to pressure the ball out.
Both teams also on the lookout for every single opportunity when they're close to the goal. And there again, a free possession, but Sri Lanka is still lucky to hold it through. 10 seconds on the clock. nevertheless, a good attempt.
So once again, you'd have to say a missed opportunity for Sri Lanka. Just 3 goals in it. A goal there would have definitely put a different complexion on this game. Now they're back in defense. India, what a wonderful shot by Ambadi. Brilliant angle. Somakirti, unfortunately, just found wanting.
India may have just found a kink in Vinod Somakirti's arm there, because seemed to go for the bounce option. Somakirti was very good at stopping the direct shot. So little things here for the coaching staff to pick up on when you're playing the game at this level. Quality opposition will make you count on every little.
So it's deflected. Missed chance for Sri Lanka. India once again on the attack.
Ball being handled by Suhas Kuthe. Extra man situation for India. Number 7 Sri Lanka, Sheran being excluded at the moment. Playing a double prop strategy, trying to keep this in to defend that goal. Somakirti also on the lookout. A quick diagonal change and catching Somakirti off guard to make it a goal.
Yes, Sarthak Murthy put the finishing touches, but a wonderful feed by Shyam Pradeshi. Wonderful teamwork and understanding between the two Indians.
The 2 Sri Lankan defenders looking a little befuddled there. Didn't know what hit them until the ball was at the back of the net, but that is how quick this Indian thinking is on attack. Quick ball up the pool and then immediately distribute a dry ball. Nicely done and nice to see. And as the referee takes control of the game and makes sure that it doesn't get out of hand. Yellow card shown to, was it one of the players? But nonetheless, stamping his authority on the game, making sure it's good for everyone watching and all the players.
Sri Lanka on the attack. De Silva. It's the ball back.
A lob shot, but easily given into the hands of the Indian goalie.
I'm fairly sure that was a pass that was being attempted. Lack of coordination, you have to say, by Sri Lanka in attack. Now India move the ball swiftly to the other end of the pool. A wonderful shot. Brilliant bounce shot by Krishna Tejas. It's just the technique of that shot has to be admired. Somakirti, fortunately, just not being able to read that bounce shot. And India, just like that, have extended the lead to 6 goals.
The Indians seem to have found a loophole there on how to catch hold of Somakirti. Quick change in direction of the ball to make him less averse to the response. It's Sri Lanka in possession again, trying to see if they can get that ball any closer. Extra man. Sri Lanka's trying that. Nope. It's a deflection and out goes the ball.
India on the attack. 2-on-1 situation. Wonderful save by Somakirti, but India retrieve possession. It's good work by Sri Lanka, but it's like they have been penalized. India on the attack. And there's some good defensive work by, I think it was Dimitri Lianage, deflecting that ball towards the goal line. So Somakirti trying to send the ball as quickly as possible to the other end, which he does.
Yes, Lianage using all his experience to shut the angle down and take his man on the tight defense. Sri Lanka now with a chance to reply. Didn't see the player from behind him, and all the very reasons shouldn't have made that pass. India swimming away with it at the Sugadadasa leaving the Sri Lankan wingers in the background.
Brilliant work by number 4, Suleiman Shihar. Great effort, swimming back, showing some good desperation in defense. Ball has gone to the other end of the pool. Sri Lanka with an opportunity. Just need to make it count.
Trying every single opportunity. The team sort of divided in half at the moment. Some still being held back, ready to make sure that the defenses are in place. The number 2 for India, Suhas Kuthe, passing it back. And nevertheless, Suhas, cap number 12, Rohit Kuthe, doing the honors there, catching the corner of the goal.
Yes, you just tend to think that effort in that second quarter by Sri Lanka seems to have taken its toll in this third quarter. Things are pretty much falling apart for Sri Lanka, unfortunately. Shows, isn't it, the strength and endurance of this Indian team as well.
And the Sri Lankan coaches having done quite a number of replacements, trying to conserve the energy of this fast-paced game. Wonderful back shot. The reflections making it difficult for us to spot the cap. Cap number 9, Ramiru Alutge, catching, making use of that opportunity and just lobbing it by a quick turn of his back.
So the 16-year-old for Sri Lanka putting his name on the score sheet. And also just going to emphasize that this is a young team, gentlemen. They've got a lot of youngsters playing in this under-21 side who have a lot of years ahead of them to come back and compete again against India. Something we speak about at schoolboy level as well, where the under-19 teams now need to be representative of 18 and 19-year-olds in the squad, because only then can you have really good Sri Lanka teams as well in that 18 and 19-year-old category. But this is India under 21.
So penalty throw for number 7, and India gets that goal. Swayam Pardeshi making sure the opportunity that was given to him.
Yes, unfortunately on that occasion, Somakirti being sent the wrong way, so India have increased their lead as we approach the final few seconds of this third quarter. Have to say it's a quarter that's been dominated by India. It's just, Sri Lanka looking to try and finish it strong. Just looking for the options. Lianage.
A lot of activity by the Sri Lankans on their charge, but not being able to make that reflect on the scoreboard. 13 goals, India leads to 6.
Just looking at the players around in Sri Lanka have 2 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old as well in this contingent of 7. And now Sri Lanka, with all the talent behind them, need to score. And what excitement at Sugadadasa. The crowd here cannot believe it. Why, they ask, why agonizingly, but not knowing how much of work you've got to do underwater to get those shots away. So Sri Lanka having the opportunities, not taking them, but we'll have a lot to learn from this third quarter.
Elevate your game with the Papare, Sri Lanka's ultimate sports destination. Tune in to the Papare, your home for all things sports.
Coaching staff, look at continuity and look at bringing in more experience on the bench.
And on the swim ball, possession still being struggled between India and Sri Lanka, but India still manages to retain the ball. into the Sri Lankan half.
They're doing a lot of work in that prop position, looking for the ball, looking for the ball. Yep. Knew the signs were right. Just the way the D was formed, you could sense that it was always going to the prop. And Sri Lanka now slowing the pace of the game down, so that they've got just that little bit of reserve in the tank in the last 2 minutes of this quarter. Looking for his centre.
One thing is clear, the Indians on their defense all huddled near the goal area, and a swim off straight, and so yet another goal for India. Number 6 Swirly doing the honors for that.
Manigasekara, one of the fastest swimmers in the Sri Lankan side, but even he was left for dead. So just showing the amount of nutritional value that these Indian teams have now, and the strength and conditioning to go with that. And little things for the Sri Lankan water polo team to catch on to, and then make this an even better outfit in the next game and the next year. Then again, loading up well.
A rebound. A powerful throw by the Sri Lankan skipper.
Yes, and the difference really, Akri, is that India's got strong shooters like that, about 4 of them.
And we talk about strong shooters, and there we have it. Number 2, Suhas Kuthe finding that opportunity.
This reminds me of your
Well over the 6 meters, throwing it in.
This reminds me of your Malbolagala not too long ago at this very stadium on that very bar. So Sri Lanka have the talent. They certainly do. And watching all these games, we'll only want them to make it, only want them to yearn for it even more and more.
Sri Lankans on the charge again. Having lost a little bit of steam, trying to slow the game down to sustain their energy throughout. Finding it difficult to break through the players.
A snapshot there by Yasudu De Silva, fortunately not finding its mark. India now shift the ball to the other end. Very quick in realigning in attack. Not letting the Sri Lanka defense settle. And Somakirti this time blocking the shot by Rohit Kuthe. Sri Lanka sending the ball upfield.
Ten seconds remaining on the clock. Can they make this play work? We can see that a lot of difficulty of defense being put up by the Indians right in front of the goal. A very good attempt by
Listen, while Sri Lanka pondering what happens, Mohammad Sowit has gone up, and Somakirti, brilliant read by the goalkeeper.
a bit of a play there, trying for that hard shot, but this rank taking well enough. And the Sri Lankans quickly return the ball, and yes, it's another goal for Sri Lanka. Dimitri Lianage, number 5, getting that long shot in. So 7 goals for Sri Lanka.
So plenty of excitement here with the little but strong crowd just away from your screen. You cannot see them from the angle that we are shooting this at. They've got plenty to cheer about and are really getting behind this Sri Lankan team now. They've seem to find the flavor for water polo. So that's one tick for Sri Lanka water polo in this encounter.
Hello.
Bit of excitement on the charge. Indians trying the shot, but just over the goal.
It's a bit of fancy water polo, which any coach will not like, but Sri Lanka now needs to go back to the basics. Look for the prop or the pass and shoot. Just losing a bit of concentration there, as we spoke about. And little bits of indiscipline, which both coaching camps will not appreciate. Would want to run a tight ship until the 4 quarters are done with. And as we say that, the Indian coach making sure that he just reinforces the basics into his team. He'll want them to finish nicely.
And calling for some help, possibly for an injury.
Referee Sachita Jayatilaka there officiating duties today. Sachita was the highest scorer in 2016 when he was in the pool taking on India. And finds himself at a referee 9 years after the deed.
And 4 minutes on this quarter left. What is it going to be? What will the scoreboard finally look? Possession for the Indians. Well saved once again by Somakirti.
Sri Lanka moving the ball up. And just looking at the options, but the Indian defense has settled in. Just passing the ball around, just looking for that opening.
And a wonderful back shot. Oh, it's a no goal being called by the referee. Turn back, possession back to India. The Indians in the Sri Lankan half trying to make the play work, but a deflective shot onto the bar.
Somakirti just looking at his options. It's the ball out to Lianage. Sends it cross field. Sent to the opposite end, but not accurately. Once again, allowing the Indian defense to settle in. Sri Lanka looking for an option. Very nearly. Great attempt, but ball just going over the crossbar.
It's good to see a bit of enterprise from Talal Bari swimming into that double prop position from his customary centre position. But India now looking to take this game by the scruff of its neck. They've got plenty of a lead and just seem to have put their bench in as well to give them that experience we spoke about at the top of the quarter. So it'll take a few plays for their attack to settle down, as you see some untidy passing around the arc. Good shot. Good shot. Shooting at 70% sometimes always helps to channel the ball right into the side net. Sri Lanka asking for the ball, but stranded all the way in that 10-meter zone almost, and will not hold the scorers from that position. And again, shoot is the call coming in. Can take the lob shot. Can take the lob shot. Because the goalkeeper was heavy on the left-hand side of that goal on your screen. And India now. Good pass. Wonderfully done. Indian winger finds himself free. Looks for the lob again. The idea was right. But these are the areas where Sri Lanka needs to capitalize. I know the Indian bench is in now. take the time out if required and then go to one of those set plays. Shooting one-on-one is not going to help you, especially from such acute angles. With 1.5 minutes remaining, both teams seem to have just about switched off on that intensity that we saw in the second and the third quarter. India now forming that D nicely, feeding their prop. Wonderfully done. Good exhibition of water polo 101 there from the Indian bench this time.
Yes, Mohammad Suwaid.
And the coach for Sri Lanka, Yasoda, doing quite a lot of replacements, trying to make sure every minute of the game counts to see what other opportunities that they can try with this formidable Indian team.
So bearing in mind, gentlemen, that these boys have been swimming their events as well yesterday and today, so will be drained out on that side.